CP3.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network. Thank you, gentlemen.
CP3 live.
Picked up and Heineke with time floating it for McLaurin and a fingertip grab up the sideline and into Carolina territory. Dante Jackson on the chase.
Over the defender there. Excellent coverage recognition and even better accuracy.
3rd and 9. Heineke airing it deep for McLaurin down the left sideline. What an adjustment! Makes the leaping grab and a first down right in front of Dante Jackson.
They got their one-on-one matchup if they want it up top.
De'Ami Brown up top. Bates in motion. McKissick the carry on 2nd down. Oh, he just slides through a tiny crease and gets the first down. That was an outstanding run by J.D. McKissick. On 2nd down, off the play fake, into a tight window, and he finds Cam Sims for the touchdown. Oh, what a throw for Taylor Heineke. And Washington an extra point away from tying it up.
And that's exactly what we talked about. Just a quick little run fake inside. And just great eyes, great feel.
5-man pressure. Heineke over the middle. Carter wide open. First down and plenty more to the 25-yard line. First down at the 12. Heineke with time over the middle into the end zone. Caught. McLaurin's got the touchdown. 9 seconds to go in the half. And Heineke finds McLaurin for 6.
But McLaurin, it's just a race to that opposite upright. And he gets right behind Shaq Thompson. His confidence grows with every rep, with every situation that he's learning and continuing to master.
Gibson with the cut upfield, and Gibson into the secondary, still on his feet. And Gibson finally stood up at the 6.
Gilmore out on McLaurin.
It's Heineke to throw on 3rd down for the end zone. DeAndre Carter's got the catch. His 3rd touchdown grab of the year, and Washington's on top. Just across the 30-yard line. They'll bring pressure. Heineke standing in, throws to McLaurin, who's got a first down. Well, you saw that heat coming, and Heineke stayed in there to find McLaurin for 15. On 4th down, Heineke inside pressure gets away. Heineke on the run. Carter chasing, in trouble, throws, and it's caught. John Bates came back to get it, and it's a...
Can't make. Watch him slam on the brakes. Let Carter go by. I mean, you want to talk about Brett. Didn't Laura just talk about Brett Favre? I mean, that was about as Brett Favre as you could get. He is just gunslinging and dealing out there. Whatever it takes, man. Look at him. He's fired up. Morgan Fox gives him a 2nd and 12. A fumble snap gives him another 2nd and 12.
And Heineke on the keep. Chin on the chase. Steps through the tackle. Slides first down. 4-man rush. Cam in trouble. Down he goes. And the Washington defense ends the storybook return of Cam Newton to Carolina with a 4th down sack.
That's right. It's Monday night. Sports on the Hill podcast, True Radio Network, CP3 coming to you live from the lab. It's Victory Monday for the 2nd week in a row. Washington football team now 4-6. Pulled the upset in some folks' eyes again. You know, they all went against us. And I rolled with my team. Had a feeling they were going to pull this one off. And they did. And it was a great game. We're going to break that down with a special guest. We got Big Hurt coming in to break this game down. We haven't had him on in a few weeks. They're on a 2-game winning streak. We're seeing some of the things that we spoke about previously coming to fruition. So, you know, we're going to have fun with that. But before we get to the Washington football team, we're going to talk about the Capitals and their 2-2 road trip. We were hoping for 3 out of 4, but last night I think they were exhausted from those back-to-back shutouts and cracking. Any game, like they say in football, any given Sunday, any team can win. Last night, the Kraken pulled it off, and then to finish up the show after football talk, we'll have Wizards Roundtable as always with Brian Brennan and our wonderful NBA panel, Tim, Arun, DC's People's Champion. Who else? Probably got more guys jumping on. We got a great team. We appreciate, as always, our team taking the time out. We appreciate you for checking the show out. Always bringing you the best DC sports around. You can go check out the website, sportsothp.com. We got the apparel button. See, I'm rocking the new Sports OTHP apparel. Good Christmas presents. You can go check out the website for that. Robbie just added a new Team Sports OTHP button that he's editing and adding some things to it. You can check out. You're going to have bios of the whole team and, let the links to their social media and all their podcasts, because we have a great team that we lean on, especially with Robbie being out. He's not been out, he's been popping on when he can. But yeah, we definitely want to have a good show. It's episode 249, one episode away from 250. That's, when we started this, who knew we'd be this deep into it 5 years, 6 seasons later. But we're going to keep on grinding. As I say, we got things in the works. Anna, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I hope you can hear me okay on this new laptop situation I'm on.
Oh, yeah, we hear you fine. You're coming in nice and
all
clear.
Right. That's perfect. Well, I have, let's just say, less than 24 hours, and I will be done teaching for the week, and I get a 5-day break. So this teacher is on a countdown. I'm ready.
Right. Yeah, Thanksgiving right around the corner. I'm putting in days every week, every day this week. It's a grind. I gotta secure a couple of more deals to get that commission check that I've been working hard for all month. So I'll be working every day except for Thanksgiving all the way up to the end of the month. Cause I gotta get this money coming in. Cause I can't let the man.
You're so close. Like I said, I saw that happy new owner a couple of or was it yesterday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, good for you.
I got two.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got some things in the works. We got some deals being made. So if you're in the market for a new used vehicle, come on down to Waldorf on the 2450 Crane Highway. Ask for Carol. Get you that deal done. Also forgot to mention we have a Wizards game live in action. Charlotte. They're at Capital One, and the Wizards were down most of the game, around 15 to 17 points. Looked like they're on a run and down 8 points now. It was getting a little scary for the Wizards. Charlotte was outplaying them, but they got their act together. Looked like down by 8 and 1 to Gafford. Not an and 1, I guess they didn't count the bucket, but he missed the first one. But we'll definitely have the NBA roundtable, break that down in the second hour of the show. So, how are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? And I know this is a difficult time for folks that's lost loved ones, but the food's going to be good, the memory's going to be there, and you got everything just about ready for Thanksgiving.
I do. We are lucky enough to have a family that lives right outside of Annapolis, and we're going to be at a table of 15 on Thursday, which is fantastic. I have a cousin that's visiting from New Zealand. So, wow, I feel truly blessed with that. And then of course, on Saturday, I'll do like the little Thanksgiving for the Knox clan here so we can have leftovers.
Yeah, nothing like Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yeah, it's the best. Like, I feel like I just want to show up at somebody's house and be like 6 hours after they ate and just be like, I'm good. I'll just, make myself a sandwich and be good to go.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Indeed. You don't have to work on Thursday, though, right?
Oh, no. The only days that the dealership are closed are Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's it. So, yeah, I'll be off for Thanksgiving. I'll be with my family down in Waldorf, not too far from the dealership. We got my mom, my nieces, my nephews, my great nieces. So, yeah, we're going to have I just dropped off some stuff at the house today. We got a duck, got a ham, got turkey,
Nice.
Yeah, the duck, man. Nothing like a good duck, man. I'll tell you.
Oh, you know what? I've never done that. But I've always laughed at like when people talk about the turducken or whatever it is.
Boy.
And see it, and I'm like, I bet you that would be really good.
Definitely, I do want to get one of those. I remember those with Madden. Yeah, I've never had one of those, but that looks like it'd be a pretty good meal.
100%. And it's funny that you say John Madden because so he lives in the Bay Area, not far from where I lived, which is crazy. And he actually attended the same Catholic church that my family went to. So because he coached Oakland, which was maybe 20 minutes away from where we lived, he went to this church, and my father would get up and go to the 7:30 mass because there was no choir. Like that was just like, I'm going to go to this mass, I don't need to sing, and la la la, let's just get through it. And he would go, and John Madden would be there. And oftentimes people would mistake my dad for him, which was very funny. And I thought, what an awesome honor to, to be mistaken for someone like John Madden. They were same height, same build, played the same position in football, and same look. It was just very funny. So whenever I think of him, I'm like, oh, John, he's got my heart. So, but yeah, then when he showed the turducken on introducing it to the NFL, I was like, hey, you know what? He knows what's up.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I can't wait for Thanksgiving myself. But let's go ahead and get into this week that was with for the Washington Capitals, who are still, sitting pretty good, sitting in second place in the Metro, and
Absolutely.
on this 2-2 road trip. Still missing some folks. Lars Eller is on COVID protocol. I believe Nick Dow came back. Oshie came back, but he didn't play last night. He was on the. Did he play Saturday? I didn't get a chance.
He played against the Sharks, but I don't recall seeing Nick Dowd until, gosh, maybe last night's game. But yeah, I feel like they were still just sort of not 100%, but still 2-2 on the road against the teams that they were going up against. So it was pretty impressive. So we can start that the first California road trip game was against the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks scored the only goal in the first, and there were no goals in the second. And then we have Pilon gets his first goal at 5:36. This is by Faravari and Carlson. Then we have the Ducks scoring again at the 10-minute mark. Wilson ties it up with the tip in at 17:28, excuse me, assisted by Carlson and Faravari. And we head into overtime, and the Ducks score at 4:14. Unfortunately, 2-3 loss. I think out of this one, I did not see the game. I did watch the highlights, but I will say when you're looking at the stats, my biggest frustration had to come from the face-off percentage. You're looking at 32.7% for the Caps and 67.3% for the Ducks. Totally unacceptable. And that could be, lacking Nick Dowd, but come on, you can't put all on him. And then again, kind of on the shots on goal in that second period. The Caps were 6 versus 11. So, I know all of us are going to be like, oh, it's a road trip. Oh, jet lag. Oh, this, oh, that. I don't know. Like, I really was hoping, I knew there was going to be a loss. I didn't expect it to be this one, but you know what, it was, and whatever. But I'm not going to chalk it up to jet lag and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this game, I forgot the player's name, but he scored his 1,000 career point in like the first 3 minutes of the game. The crowd was already hyped. They were already anticipating that, and the Capitals went into a buzzsaw, and they didn't. They always say when you're on the road, you got to sustain for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game to get that push from the home team. And unfortunately, this time they didn't sustain it. And 3 minutes in, he got the goal. All the players came out surrounding him. The crowd was going crazy, and they just couldn't get from under that momentum in that game. And the Ducks, they definitely have a different look than the team that we were used to seeing with the Ducks. We used to seeing them big and defensive, but they're big, fast, and defensive now. So they were very aggressive in that game, and they were feeding off the crowd big time, and they really didn't give the Capitals any time and space Like you said, it was kind of late, so the third period and the overtime, I think I might have passed out on, so I didn't get a chance to see them come back and tie it up. But from the first two periods, when I was watching that's what I saw from the Ducks.
Absolutely, and it was a little too late, kind of effort from the Caps end, and I don't know. I'm always so conflicted when it comes to social media to say like, oh, they're just 3 hours. Like, come on, it's for what you're getting paid. No, like I don't.
Well,
That's the reason.
Well, they said they were leaving earlier to try to get some rest to, get into a better groove. But like I said, they just walked into a buzzsaw with him. I cannot remember the player's name because I was like, wow, that was kind of fast with doing a pregame talking about gets an assist, so he gets a goal, he'll get his 1,000 point, and I think he got a goal on the doorstep, a nice deflection, and the crowd went crazy. Players, cleared the bench to celebrate, and normally when you have stuff like that happen, it's hard to get the momentum back, especially that early in the game. And they got a point, so that means they at least got back tied. They got to force overtime. They got a point, so hey, that's a good thing.
I'll absolutely take it, and it could have been worse. And you know what? I'll take it. They looked strong. It was just that face off and that second period shots on goal, but. Moving on to that second night, Caps played the Kings. No goals in the first or second, but then Hathaway scores at 16:30 and 18:42, assisted by Carlson. Carlson on both, and then Kuzi and Carlson on one of them for a 2-zip win. And this was the first Sammy shutout. A better percentage with the face-off. It was like 40-60. But now we're like 0-2 with the power play. So, kind of like a couple little things you can work on, but nothing's ever going to be perfect. But to me, this was going up against Quick and between the pipes. This was a great game, and it was nice to see Garnet Hathaway make a name for himself, let alone 2 goals. So good on good for him.
Yeah, he's definitely been playing very well offensively. He's always been solid defensively, and being a physical presence on the ice. But the fact this is his second game with 2 goals, he's showing that he's found this niche and found this spot with his team. And we've seen a couple of other players that's been cast off other places that have come here and find a home with this team, and it's more like a family. We spoke about the father's trip that they take whenever they go on a Canadian trip, and they get that family feel. And when you get that, that takes it to a whole nother level on the ice. So it's good to see players secondary scoring for one, and see players that we got in trades or that we've developed and actually started selling and playing well for the team. And 2-0 shutout ain't nothing to sneeze at. And Sammy, we've been critical of him, and I wasn't a fan of his, but yeah, that shutout, was nice. The second shutout that we're about to talk about, I was more impressed with. But it's always good to get a shutout, especially on the road. We've seen Double V in a couple of many times in the third period with no goals on the board, and unfortunately wasn't able to secure the shutout. So it was good to see Sammy taking the reins, especially after I can't remember the other guy's name, the goalie that came up and got the shutout in his first NHL start. I think that
for Collie.
I didn't want to say it wrong. I thought that was something. But I think when he saw him do that, I think that might have lit the fire in Samsonov, because ever since then he's been
on fire.
Yeah, so I even had to tell Robbie, your man looking good. And like I had to give Olaf props last week, got to give Sammy props this week.
Agree. Like, absolutely can't take it away. And I think that, when you have 2 fantastic goalies, you really don't have a problem. So it's a good problem to have, I should say. Moving on, Saturday, the Caps headed up north. So they're heading towards where I grew up area to take on the San Jose Sharks. It's absolutely crazy that all we're going to talk about are 2 main names, which is Connor Sheary and Alex Ovechkin. That's it. Those are Both of them scored twice, and I couldn't be prouder. But Connor Sheary scores his fourth at 2:17, and Ovi scores his 13th, the power play goal at 13:58, assisted by Carlson. Oshie, welcome back, 77. That was awesome to see. No goals in the second, and then Sheary scores again at 15:10. And Ovi scores with an empty netter at 18:56. Shutout number 2 for Sammy. I mean, come on. Like, if anything, if it was like the big old, foam finger to anybody who was doubting him, that would be it. Good for him. Like, maybe that's exactly what he needed was, everyone was like, probably like, hey, this guy's a badass and a fan favorite, and so is Double B. Step it up. Good. If that's the kick and kick he needed, I'm happy with it because 2 shutouts, he looked amazing, and the fact that it went 4-zip, awesome.
Yeah, Sherry, I definitely like his speed. I like that, the way he plays, and for him to have 2 goals. The second goal was the one that he was more impressive. Yeah, spin when he was losing his balance and still found a way at that sharp angle to get it in. I love that to see his hustle and to see it finally pay off because him and Haglin were having issues not being able to score. Haglin, not said Hagler. Jeez, can't think of the guy. I don't know how it was Hagler. Was it Hagler? Might have been Hagler. I don't know. My mind went 1,000 places. I'm watching wrestling, that basketball, and football.
It's all good. I'm on a teacher break where I'm like, what day is it? How many hours?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that Sammy, this shutout, yeah, he had 34 saves. He was definitely on this top of his game, and he answered the bell at every chance that they pushed, every push that they gave, and to secure the shutout for nothing. Like I said, I gotta take my hat off to him because he definitely looked like he's comfortable and he found his way. Like Robbie said, he was eventually gonna find it. I thought he had plenty of chances to find it before, but I guess he finally found it now. So we're going to see how long he's going to be this effective. Because if he's playing this well, he's definitely going to, make me, have to sit back and look at him and Double V and see how things go.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I was like, oh boy, this could be another Orlov situation. But no, this is, but good for him. Like we all knew something had it in him. I think we were disappointed with like the out of hockey antics that were going down with Kuzi. Kuzi has stepped up his game. He has proven himself. At least to me, there's still fans, a ton of fans out there that expect a ton more from him. I'm hoping it continues because it's, I don't want to see anybody, go the other way. But I definitely think that he redeemed himself and is in the right direction. And hopefully that'll be a good influence on Sammy. And then with B-Tech, it's like, hey, he's just going to take that ride, just go with it. Both of them are fantastic goalies. Both of them can work together. We saw, Holtby and Grubauer mesh well together, and I think that there's potential for these guys to do great. But yeah, this was sort of like, oh my gosh, 2 shutouts. It's just, all right, I'll eat my words on that one. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
What can you ask for? Solid defense, goalie playing well, scoring when needed. Ovi. I got to talk about my man Ovi. I mean, he's climbing up the ranks to all-time scoring leader. He's behind 12 behind Yager now. So now that'll be number 3. And like I said, this chase to 894. I'm loving that we are covering this show, covering this man, covering this team, because once he gets to that pinnacle, we're going to have a fun show for that.
Oh my God. And it's like, it is 100% when it's that history in the making. There's nothing better than the chase, and we are watching it, and there is just nothing better than an athlete who wants it so bad for the fans, as much as and for the team as he does for himself. So we know that we're not going to get anything less than 100% from Ovechkin. I love it.
Wow. Oh boy, I'm watching the Wizards game. The Wizards that came back, they were down 105, 103 with 10 seconds left on the clock with a 5 second differential. And Charlotte point guard Rozier the third just drained the three to make it a 5 point game. So it's no way the Wizards can defeat the Charlotte Hornets tonight with 12.9 seconds. That's a miracle happens. I've seen some stuff happen, but 12.9 seconds left. They're up. They're down by five. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are up 17-10 over the Giants. And I'm watching wrestling also, so just a quick update.
There you go. Look at you. There's me. I'm watching a Drew Peterson murder mystery on like Dateline. So it tells you where I am at right now because I was gonna watch the Buccaneers game and I thought, I don't know, how good is this game really gonna be? But anywho, so we'll get to the Kraken game. Did you watch it?
I watched I think I saw the first period, and then after that, I think I was done after watching a football game and being up early doing that post game, and sharing videos and highlights. Yeah, I think I saw the first period. I think they were down 1-2-0, and I think after that I was done.
Yeah, no, and it's funny that you say that because I was the same way. I did watch Washington win, which is great, but then on my phone I was watching San Francisco win and going through all that kind of fun stuff. So anyway, so last night it was the last game, and it was versus the Seattle Kraken. Wilson scored his sixth at 3:34, assisted by Kuzi, and then the Kraken comes back to tie it up at 15:58. Second period. This was, I guess, kind of where, unfortunately, the Capitals fell apart because the Kraken scores 3 times. Boo. And now they're winning 4-1. Third period, Ovechkin scores his 15th at 3:09. And then we have Seattle coming back one more time at 19:31. Unfortunately, this is a 5-2 loss. This was a better face-off percentage, but the power play was 0-4, and that's always going to just kill this team. So, and then unfortunately, shots on goal that second period was just weak. And so, you want to have that argument of where's 60 minutes of hockey? Where's the 60 minutes of football? Where's the 60 minutes, but when it comes down to it, the team really fell apart in the second period, which is unfortunate. But great to see Tommy Wilson on the board as usual. Good for him.
Yeah, Tommy, he started out, slow on the goal sheet, but he was, racking up assists, and now he's got 7 goals now. So, yeah, like I said,
6, yeah.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, the secondary scoring is always key. We saw how key it was in the championship run. So, once we get all the pieces back, just remember we still haven't seen Nicky. So
I know
to the lineup.
It's wild.
Yeah, you get Dowd. He's coming back. It's the team is already playing well. Bringing Nicky back, going to shuffle some things up, but you give him time to get back in the groove. Hopefully, I think they said that he was on the road trip, not saying that he was going to play, but that he's actually been with the team. So hopefully, we'll see him on the ice practicing soon. Hopefully. Cause,
I hope so.
Yeah, because a player like Backstrom just makes that team so much better. Without no matter what line he's on, if he's on the top line or if he's on the second line, he's going to.
No, he's just he is so fantastic and highly missed. And I will say, I was actually behind a car yesterday, and I wish I knew who this person was. Their license plate said 8, and then it had the Washington. Capitals, like the eagle, and then it said 19, and I thought, oh my gosh, like there it is right there. That's like the ultimate license plate.
Says it all. It says it all, man. That's what I said.
It does.
My dream is to get an interview with Ovechkin. I'm still trying to find a way to make that happen. If I can get an interview with Ovechkin, that's a life. That's a dream come true right now. I got some connects that I didn't found, but I'm cultivating to see if I could. I got to get down Kettler. That's the whole thing. I got to get down Kettler to practice and see if I can work my magic and my mojo. If I can get an interview with Alex, man, that's a game changer.
That would be, oh my God. That would be amazing. And you know what? When Grant Green comes out from Scotland, He's going to be at those practices, and he's had pictures with him, so it's like that whole situation just feels like it's going to be, would be amazing to see everybody together to, oh my gosh, to interview number 8. That would be amazing. But I know you have, do you have football next? I don't want to take up your time.
Oh, nah, you good. I'm still waiting on Big Hurt, so we got a little bit of time left. We can go ahead and preview. It's, I know it's only 3 games this week. We can preview.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because so Wednesday we finally get the boys home, and they're going to be playing at Montreal Canadiens. This is the first of 3 games against them. They don't have a great record, not doing 100%, but I will say a player to look out for is Nick Suzuki. He is he's had 4 goals and 14 points, and is just an up and coming player on that team that is going to be one for the Capitals to watch out for sure.
No doubt, especially with the, transition of what's been going on, coming off the road, coming home after that long trip. Then it was 7 games in 10 days. So yeah, Capitals definitely going to have to get their, mojo back after that loss to the Kraken, because no one saw that coming. But I think it was a hangover from them being out on the road, and those 2 shutouts back to back. I just think that, like you said, you can't win them all. We hope we win 3 out of 4, but we weren't expecting 2 back-to-back shutouts either. So,
Yeah, this is, yeah, exactly. And then real quick, because I know you guys have to go. Friday at 5, puck drop against the Panthers, who are kind of on fire. I have to admit, they're 13-2-3, and again, we had a tough loss against them with 5-4 in overtime on November 4th. So we just have to watch out for Barkov. He seems to be like the nemesis on that team for just about anybody. And then 2 days later, the Capitals will be in Carolina playing the Hurricanes, 1 o'clock puck drop. They're on fire. They are 14-2-0. Wow. A team that you just can't, don't underestimate them. And when I look at their roster, and I think, their top guy is Sebastian Aho. Okay, again, because he's had a fantastic season again. So just somebody that we have the potential to win, but like these, minus the Canadians, but we never could assume. I would love to see this team go take all 3 games, but I will be happy with 2 of 3.
I think 2 or 3 is probably going to be end up being the week is going to be 2 out of 3. But
yeah,
let's go ahead and get ready to let the folks know what you got going on with Power Play, and get ready to wrap this up. And we bring on Big Hurt. I know he's has a lot that he wants to talk about. We haven't had him on in a while.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so I am part of the Power Play podcast. You can hear us on Podbean and, oh my gosh, any other kind of, Robbie has everything linked on the sports. No, I feel like he has it on there, but I'm not 100% sure. He's always so good about putting this out there, but I feel like we're on your Facebook page. But anyways, we record every Sunday night, talk about only the Caps. We have a Facebook page. Would love to hear from anybody. And then, of course, I'm with you guys on Monday nights.
Right, as always, appreciate you taking the time to break down the Capitals games. I can't wait for game Wednesday. I hate going these long stretches without no Capitals hockey. But at least we got basketball and football to keep us occupied. Basketball again, so who knew? But appreciate you taking the time out. I'll let you get to it and then start to get ready to enjoy your Thanksgiving break.
You too, and good luck with the car sales. And I will see you guys.
All right, see you next week.
Take care.
All right, have a good night. And now we got Big Hurt in the building to break down this second victory in a row, impressive victory in a row by this Washington football team. And things were a lot different the last time we had Big Hurt on. So I can't wait to get his take on these two games that they just defeated the Buccaneers and then the game against Carolina, where, everything, all the storylines going back to Carolina, facing Cam, and Cam's upset because Coach didn't bring him into DC, and Coach has a point with Heineke that he's the guy that he wants. Big Hurt, let the folks know how you feel, man. How are you doing tonight, man? First of all.
Um, First of all, this time of year, I want to wish everybody out here who can hear me a happy shut the fuck up day. Everybody who was saying we should have got Cam instead of Heineke needs to shut the fuck up. Everybody who said that we should bench Heineke instead of giving him the season to see what we got out of him needs to shut the fuck up. And yeah, that's it. They got to shut the fuck up. Now, that doesn't mean I'm in love with Heineke. I'm just saying, folks, shut the fuck up, wait, and let's see what happens. But Heineke's burning. Heineke starts looking good, and just as I get behind him, here we go. So, it's like I don't trust her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can go on dates. If she lets me beat, sure. I ain't gonna kiss her in the mouth. I'm definitely not gonna hit it raw. I don't trust her. I don't trust Heineke. I don't trust him yet. He put together two emotionally charged games. One, he wanted revenge against Tampa Bay, which I love. I love it. Two, he wanted to spoil Cam's homecoming because it wasn't Cam's homecoming, it was his homecoming. Shout out to Joey Slide with the "I'm back" post on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that.
Watching Cam Newton. Yo, that shit was live. I was with it. I was with it. He's like, "I'm back." I'm like, yo, that's what's up. Things are starting to come around, and I have to tell people to shut the fuck up when they start talking about the playoffs because it's like, well, we can run the table. We did last year too. Yeah, that's cool, but let's put a few games like this together first. Mm-hmm. Now, when you start putting games like this together, I can then go back and look at all the games we lost and be like, well, San Diego's a contender and KC's a contender, and they did Dallas worse than they did us. And I have to start looking and finding excuses. But I need to know how Taylor's going to play for the rest of the year. I need to know if we're going to see more of McKissick running the ball, because the team works better when Gibson goes for 60 and McKissick goes for 60 than when Gibson goes for 100. We run the ball better. It's better. I love the fact that Coach put him on the bench and let him calm the fuck down and told him to shut the fuck up. And he came back in and ran angry.
Oh, my God.
Oh, fumbling ass. Oh, dribbling the ball ass. Oh, Allen Iverson crossover football ass. I'm sick of him fumbling. Like, dude, you could have fumbled the game away. Oh, and Troy, he made a play.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Praise God. See that game. They said, Troy, he comes. I said, who?
Coach said the only reason why he was on the team, man, he was special teams, man. Special teams.
Dude, he made a play. He possibly made the play of the game. I said if we win, that's going to be the play of the game. That's a big play, because if Carolina gets that ball back in that moment, it's over. We're not coming back from that. Well, we can. We proved that we can. But I don't think we can.
Yeah.
Everything was working right. I was telling my buddy, one of my favorite things about Ron Rivera is like on 4th down and 2 or 3 inside the 40, they be looking at Ron and see what he's going to do. He could be standing there like this. He be looking at Taylor like, you already know. You already know we going for it. He don't say nothing. It's like, you already know. I love it. I love the faith that he shows in the team. Mm-hmm. I love when he puts the team in position. You're not entitled to 4th down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, your coach is trusting you. So if it goes south, I'm not looking at the coach. I'm looking at y'all, because he put y'all in position. You already know what it is. if you can't go out and get 3 yards at this point, then what are we here for? I love the fact that we have a bona fide number 2 receiver. Samuels can shut the fuck up. Steve Smith might have been right about him. Steve Smith called him everything except for a child of God. Said he was overpaid. Congratulations. Your mama ain't shit. Like, he just kind of ran him down. And he's that Mike Barrow. He's that signing that's like, yo, when he gets on the field, it's going to be, when's he going to get on the field? And he gets on the field, makes a couple plays, and he's gone for 3 more weeks. Cut our losses. He can go. That's $10 million that could be going toward, I was going to say re-signing Brandon Sheriff, but I don't know if I want to pay Brandon Sheriff top guard money for 11 games a season. I'm not with it. Although we be winning when he plays. It's kind of weird. Look, it's kind of weird. We be winning when he plays, so.
But he don't even last the whole game in the games that he's playing.
I know, but we be winning when he plays. It's weird. It's weird. Without him, we don't be winning. With him, we win most of the time. So, like, I'm a stats and numbers guy. So when I saw that stat, I was like,
I mean, they offered him a good deal. He wants to be the highest paid guard. He made All-Pro status, which is, top. And, it's a great thing for an offensive lineman named All-Pro. I
hear that.
I'm just not sold on him. I want to go back to what you were saying about Heineke, about not being sold on him. I'm not saying I'm sold on him, but over the last, I say, 3 weeks, you've seen progression from him throwing the receivers open, not holding the ball as long. The last 2 weeks, no turnovers. Last week he had the one that he got lucky that bounced off the defender's hands in a Carter. So we know we're going to get a couple of those gunslinger plays that, boom, like the Sanchez broke it down very nicely yesterday, saying about him throwing off his back foot that he doesn't necessarily have to, but he's got comfortable doing that. And if he would step into more of his throws, he would be a better quarterback. And we've been seeing him do that for the most part. So this is the potential that I saw with him, with the hustle, the so-called moxie, or whatever you want to call it, the fight that he has in him. If he can put that together with a competent performance on the field without making mistakes, that he could be a stopgap quarterback for 2 or 3 years for them to draft the rookie and let the rookie actually mature on the bench. And I would have confidence in Heineke going out there and being able to have this offense be effective. You don't have that feeling yet, or can you see that as a possibility?
No, I've always had that feeling. I just can't yet because I need to see more consistency. I need to see that those games were the exception and not the rule. You know what I'm saying? Plus, there's one problem I have with him. The way he's getting the ball out quick, he's not thinking, he's not looking, he's just like, hike, and he knows we're supposed to go with the ball. He only held the ball one time this past game. It was a sideline pass where he threw it to Reyes. And, he held the ball just a second too long. But it was fine. If I'm a defensive coach, I'm jumping those slant routes. Now that he knows he has to go hike, turn, look, and throw, I'm jumping those routes. And I think you could see that happen if we continue to call that out route, because we call it a lot. We call those flat routes a lot. And if I'm a defensive back, I'm jumping. I'm taking a shot. I'm going to jump the route. I'm going the other way. And I'm just going to hope that my safety's got my back.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like the way he goes, hike. And it's like, I know where the ball's going before he turns and throws it. I don't like that because I feel like if I know, the defender knows. So if he continues to improve, that's all I ever ask from anybody. I want to see progression. You're allowed to have a bad game every now and then. Like every quarterback on any team except for the Washington team is allowed to have a bad day without the fans going crazy. He can have a bad day, but I need to see progression. I need to see okay, this mistake is not something we worked on. And then I need to be worked on, and that's not to repeat those mistakes. So putting 2 great games together, and they were 2 great games. I love it. I need to see one more. I need to see one more, then I'll be comfortable. Seattle's defense, this is a game where he should be able to do his thing. He should be able to do his thing. I'm not afraid of Russell Wilson anymore. I'm not afraid of Mr. Sierra anymore. You know, I used to be afraid of him. I'm not now. I don't even know if he's playing. If he is, I don't know if he's a factor. But I think this is a game where Taylor can actually go out and really put a stamp. Really give us that 300-yard game. Like, people keep calling him a noodle arm. He has the most 20-yard completions for a touchdown in the league. Like, what are we talking about? And it's not Yak either. Someone was like, "Oh, it must be Yak." Like, no, it's not Yak. He's throwing bombs. I was telling my homeboy, Big Hub, Heineke's best area is on their side of the 40 on second and short. Second and short from their side of the 40, he's throwing that fake every time. Every time he's throwing that fake. And he usually hits it. He overthrew Terry. He overthrew Terry on one. He overthrew Carter on one. But, man, we haven't had a quarterback that can throw the fade since Mark fucking Brunell. Kirk couldn't throw the fade. Robert never got a chance to. Like, Kirk still can't throw the fade. $90 million can't throw the fade. I like what we got. I like it for the price that we got. And I've always felt the same way. He deserves the rest of the year. And I feel like in the offseason, we'll all be on the same page. Like, all right, do we give this guy a medium 3-year contract? Because we can still get him for that. You know, we can still get him with those. Maybe he'd be an overpaid backup, but he'd be an underpaid starter. We can still get him for that type of contract.
Oh, yeah,
and by doing that, you can throw the bag at Terry. Don't wait. Throw the bag at Terry, and then make a decision on what you're going to do with 11 out of 17, Brandon Sheriff.
I'm thinking my logic is with Landon Collins. We had a discussion last week with, as well as he's playing in that position, would you keep him around making $17 million? He's gone.
He's got to go.
And then that's what was Sheriff.
And he wants to go too. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play linebacker.
No, he doesn't. He's playing it well. I mean, he only got exploited.
He's better at it. Yeah.
He only got exploited twice yesterday, but that's because they was running a 2 running back set and they forced him into coverage. So he's been definitely playing better in a linebacker / safety, because he don't want to be called safety. I mean, want to be called linebacker. But as a whole, the defense has been playing better. You know, they were averaging, giving up almost 390 yards, and last 3 weeks they haven't even given up 300 yards of total offense. The last 3 opponents running the ball, they've given up less than 90 yards. So I mean, like I said, it's all coming together, but the offense is definitely going to be the key, because the offense putting pressure on other teams to actually be able to, you know, score in the red zone. That was the only Achilles heel, because the games before they went on this 2-game winning streak, they had outgained both of their all the opponents. They just couldn't get it into the end zone. And then the last 2 weeks, the time of possession with I can't believe I'm about to say this word for.
You about to say, oh boy, go ahead.
Washington
I know what you're
football
about
team.
to say. You don't want to say it.
There is we have balance on offense that actually sticks with the run the last 2 weeks. 39 minutes of time possession the week before. This week it was 34. That comes from running the ball. Scott Turner, I don't know if he was listening to the show or if he went to go visit his dad, but he's decided to run the football. And Gibson, like you said, the fumbling, 5 fumbles, 3 loss. Yeah, that's not a good ratio, but I did like the fact that they set him down. And then McClissick, you know, he came in there, and when he runs hungry and angry. Patterson got a couple of goals. So, yeah, when the team is playing like this, man, it's a good sign in my opinion. But we actually saw balance. We actually saw sticking with the run. And we actually saw a functional game plan that actually looked like an NFL game plan from Scott Turner. What was your take on this game? I think this is the best game that he's called in his play calling career.
the same things I say about players, I mean that doubly for the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
If you see things that don't work, stop doing them. Jake Gruden knew we had a quarterback who couldn't throw the fade, but he called the fade every fucking game. He called that fucking fade every game, and every game the ball sailed 8 yards over the receiver's head because Kirk didn't know how to throw it. Every fucking game. And in the one game where Kirk hit it by accident, he comes in and starts gloating. Whereas Scott Turner will call like 9 screenplays. That doesn't work. All right, I'll dial it back to 7. Okay, I'll dial it back to 4. Okay, 4 is a good number. And we all mix it up so it doesn't look the same every time. Every week, his offensive scheme gets a little better. Okay, this works. We're going to do that more. We have a go-to third down play. The go-to third down play is that wide receiver drag where you bring the slot receiver across the field. And we saw on 4th and 5, we saw Carter go for like 17 yards. That's a go-to play. He's like, oh, that works? Cool. Let me put that right there. And it's like as the year goes on, he's accumulating all these plays that work, all these plays that we execute well, all these plays that we're familiar with. And they work and we see them over and over. And it goes from 1 play you're really good at to 2 plays you're really good at to 3 go-to plays. Now we have like a bunch of different go-to plays. That's how you build. He's getting better. He's getting better. I looking back, it makes me wonder what we expected from him. We expected him to come out the gate to be Norv Turner. But it was bad for a while. But he was finding his way. And so were the players. So was Heineke. So was Terry. So was Carter. Like, we didn't even know who the number 2 receiver was. We didn't know who the number 2 receiver was. Now that we know that Carter can do some amazing things, he's getting the ball more. I love it. We got, we're a different offense without Logan Thomas.
Yeah. Have you heard?
And he's coming back. These are things that, like, when you start talking about it, it's almost like you're making excuses for Turner. But the truth of the matter is, it's the truth. It's not excuses, it's reasons.
Yeah.
The reasons that we're here. The reason that we feel our feelings won't. I'm sorry. I lost myself. But no, all I'm saying is, he's getting better. Taylor's getting better. And if they can get better together, we can do something we haven't done in Washington ever. And that's build something special. Not buy something special. Build something special. Ron's guys going in the right direction, man. I love it.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. You got the foundation. You change the culture. You get everybody on the same page. Get the same like-minded individuals that have a common goal, and you build. And it takes time. And that's what I've been trying to explain to folks, that it's not going to be instantaneous. It's not just going to happen just because he comes into the office and, everything is going to change. You have to go through the bad, ugly times to get to the promised land. We started out, slow. You see them building. We saw the same thing last year. Last year, they had the built-in excuse for no preseason, no training camp. This year, they had some flawed game plans, trying to get pressure before, not blitzing. And, going to that, I got to give Del Rio, a little bit of credit. He finally, I guess, looked at some tape from last year, what he was doing, and decided to. We actually saw a 7-man blitz yesterday. I hadn't seen one of those all season. And also, I want to get your take on Jonathan Allen. I heard a lot of fans were upset with his extension, saying he was overpaid, he didn't deserve it. As of right now, he's in the top 3 defensive tackles in the league, according to PFF, with his effectiveness on the field, not just in the sack numbers, even though he does have, I believe, 6 sacks already. What is your impression of this young man? I feel like he's playing like he deserves that contract. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm trying to find the right way to say this. A lot of these fans got to shut the fuck up. Let's start there. Because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We don't know what we're looking at. I'm not going to lie. When I saw Jonathan Allen got the extension, I was like, oh, Deron Pay instead. But there are some things you can't replace. And Jonathan Allen is showing why he was worthy of it. But you got people who want to run Chase Young out of town because he's not getting sacks. Chase Young is gone, and they start running all over us. They run the ball right to where he would be. Fans don't know anything. You got to shut the fuck up. Jonathan Allen got the extension. It's another move by Ron and this team showing they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. And it's just like they keep making these moves that work, and they're also making moves that don't work. Like Curtis Samuel thing hasn't worked out. Chris Blewett didn't work out. Slide's working. I like him.
Yeah.
So him cutting Blewett after 2 games. We have seen coaches, Jay Gruden, who will stand on their bad decisions and hurt the team just to be like, well, P. Ryan. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Ron Rivera's like, hey, you know what? I got this one wrong. Because he let the fans bully him into getting rid of Hopkins.
I agree.
He let the fans bully him. He should have told them to shut the fuck up. Although, I like Sly better than Hopkins.
I do feel more confident with Sly out there. All the kicks that he made been straight down the middle, even coming into a new situation. He kicks the ball out the end zone on the kickoff, and he made a tackle last week. So hey, I'm cool with Sly.
Yeah, no, he's not a small kicker.
Yeah.
he's not like John Hall, but he's up there. Look, John Hall was a linebacker kicker. John Hall, he not only will he kick the ball, he'll hit you.
Yeah.
He'll stick you. He hurt himself doing it, but he'll stick
Yeah,
you.
size is key, but I like him definitely, and I always trust Wade, man. I say he'd have been a team MVP as long as he's been on the team, man. That dude, man, he don't get enough credit for the job that he does on the field, man. Trust Wade.
Yeah, but he has much work because Ron not playing no games, man. Ron going forward. Look, hey folks, here's the formula, okay? If we're tied or down by a score, and it's 4th and less than 5, on their side of the 50, we are going for it. Just understand it.
I was shocked.
And I learned this to be true, but like I said, when they go to Ron, you don't see him say anything. He's just, you see some coaches, they'll be like, let me take a timeout and think about it, or you'll see him go for it, or they'll wait to kick her on. Ron's be sitting there. He be looking at Heineke like, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to run that drag route across the middle that's working so well for us.
Yeah,
look, we're getting plays, man. We're getting plays that we're good at. We're getting players who step up. Players are learning. They learned 2 important lessons from Antonio Gibson. 1, if you fuck up, you got to sit. But 2, if you do fuck up, it's not the end of the world. You just have to come back better. And it was great that he sat him down, and even better that he came back in the game with new attitude. That shows the whole team this isn't Jay Gruden where if you fuck up, I'm going to go to the press conference and make excuses for you, and you keep your starting position. Because I don't want to say I was wrong. Everybody's got a shot. He's shown that from preseason on. Patterson's on this team for a reason. He earned his way on this team. Carter earned his way on this team. Before the season started, people were talking about AGG and Sims, and this guy just went out and played well and earned his spot. He kept taking the kick returns to the 30-yard line. We had receivers dropping the ball. Like, yo, get Carter in there. Like, literally, it was a frustration call. Like, yo, get him in there. Throw him the ball. Let's see what happens. Oh, he can catch? Okay, well, let's incorporate him some more. And now he's worked his way in the wide receiver 2 spot. Like, that's crazy to me. It's crazy because it wouldn't happen under other coaches we've had. The best players didn't play. The players he liked that weren't sleeping with his girlfriend played. I ain't forget about that, Jay. I ain't forget that you cut a whole running back because he was fucking your side bitch. We ain't forget.
No, I did.
And we saw you smoking that joint with that chick outside the club, too.
Mm-hmm.
We seen it.
We know about it.
We know about it.
Yeah, it's definitely refreshing to see football type of things going on with this football team. Like I said, we've seen the craziness, players that shouldn't be on the field because, like I said, they're favorites. The fact that he's, making the strides that he's making with his team and is actually showing on the field. It's not just lip service, that you're actually
Right.
seeing that it's actually coming to fruition. The team is getting better. And that's what I say. That's what you do want to see improvement week by week. Unfortunately, they started out slow and discombobulated, and now, they're getting themselves together. But now with that extra game in the season, they're not out of anything with these five. Like you said, not saying they're going to make a run to the playoffs, but with these five division games at the end of the season, they go out handling their business against Seattle, which I believe they will on Monday Night Football, which is, we all know how the Washington football team is on Monday Night Football. Under Rivera, they've looked, in prime time, they've looked okay. But this is going to be the test because now even though no one's talking about the two games they've won, when everyone said that they didn't have a chance against their last two opponents, and then they win.
no one talks about Washington unless they absolutely have to.
Exactly.
Anytime we win a game, like when we beat the last game we won before Tampa, nobody talked about it. Was it Atlanta?
Yep.
Yeah, we beat Atlanta, nobody talked about it. I watched every show that next morning. Colin didn't talk about it. First Take didn't talk about it. Morning Pizza didn't talk about it. Good Morning Football just said the score but didn't talk about it. It's like no one talked about it. Because if you talk about it, you have to talk about how, like, maybe you were wrong shitting on the Washington team. Like, when we beat Tampa, we already knew what it was going to be. It was like, what's wrong with Tampa? Is there a problem with Tampa? And you had a few people go, Washington spoiled Cam's homecoming. Like, they took that moment to shit on Cam, but not give Washington their props.
Yeah,
so we win 3 in a row. Everyone has to take note. So if they want to be taken seriously, they need to go out on a game that everybody's going to be watching, and they need to make a fucking statement. They don't need to squeak out a victory. They need to make a statement. They need to dog walk Seattle. They need to put them in the dirt. And of course, the story is going to be, is this the end of the road for Pete Carroll? Is it over for Russell Wilson? Is he done? The Sierra, like, is she really a hoe like that? Bow Wow hit that joint. Like that's what they're going to be talking about. But at some point, the next week is going to be like, look, Washington's won 3 in a row. Like, Tara Heineke's coming around. They're going to have to give us our props. Right now, I'm fine being below the radar. I want teams to come in thinking it's an easy win. That's what Tampa did. Tampa came in thinking it was going to be an easy win. Carolina didn't, but, Cam was running to the 50-yard line, spiking the ball down, and we was just like, all right, motherfucker, let's play.
That's what I said.
Like, okay, all right, let's see if you score again.
Yeah. I tweeted that out. I was like, okay, defense, I know y'all saw that, right? Now he wanted to show out and show up. Y'all need to show up and shut that down, and that's exactly what they did. So you don't got to talk about it. You just go out there and be about it, and that's what I love that I see about this team. They don't quit. They keep fighting, and somebody jump out there and do something. It's motivation for them. We've seen other times player, do something, we get a 15-yard penalty because they retaliated, did something stupid. Nah, under Von Rivera, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna go out there and show it on the field. And they dominated the rest of that game, offensively and defensively. So yeah, and DeAndre Carter, that dude, came on as a punt returner, kick returner. Samuels, I don't know if I'm ready to say the money aspect, it does make sense depending on how much hit the cap if they cut him. But I say just put him on an hour for the rest of the year, come back 100% growing, and see what happens. And if not, cut your losses. And you got Carter already. Hopefully Brown will wake up. So what do you think about De'Ami Brown? I'm scratching my head.
You can tell that they don't have a lot of confidence in him. Although when they throw to him, he's been ready. But he had a few drops earlier in the year, and we can't risk it. We can't risk third down drops. So the quarterback has an option of throwing to a covered Terry McLaurin or a covered Brown. I'm not going to go with the guy who might drop. I'm going to go with the shorthand. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for the guy who fights for the ball. I'm going to go for the guy who makes particular catches. But De'Ami Brown, he's working his way back in, But for me, he's your third option right now. You know, he got played out as wide receiver too. It's Terry, it's Carter, then it's Brown. And Brown Sims is kind of like either or.
Well, I think Sims has asserted himself more since he's been here longer, obviously. But when he gets in there, he's more decisive. I say it with Brown from the tape that I saw on watching him that the speed factor is there, but in the intermediate routes, he's not clean in his routes and he's not clean in his breaks, and he doesn't understand how to set up your defender because we know in the division he was in, they don't really have any quality defensive backs that he had to worry about, some worrying about. So now in the NFL where everybody is quality, I think that he hasn't perfected his route running and getting out of breaks and the fine art of being a wide receiver. Because I think Randy Moss said it best that for some wide receivers, it takes like 2 or 3 seasons for them to get transitioned into the NFL and for that light to finally come on for him. But I said that in the beginning. So, I mean, his speed is deadly. I mean, we need more speed on the field. Not having Samuel, I was hoping that he would be able to at least, produce something. But, he's like another AGG. The potential is there. You think he's going to go out there and have that. You were hoping with him going back to Carolina that Brown would maybe do something, but he didn't even get any targets in the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just.
Wait, didn't he? He got a target. Didn't he catch the other touchdown?
No, it was Carter. Sims scored that, but Tim's, McLaurin, and Carter.
Oh, yeah. Sims. For some reason, I thought it was Brown.
Nah, Brown.
Oh,
I don't even think because last week Brown didn't get any targets. I got him on my fantasy
shit,
football bench.
Yo, the only reason I was talking about him being wide receiver too, because I thought he caught that last touchdown.
Oh nah, it was Carter. Sims caught the first one, McLaurin caught the second, and Carter caught the last one. Carter got touchdowns in 3 straight games.
It was nice knowing you. Hey, nigga, it's always Canada.
Well, we go to see.
Hey, yo,
we go to see. All right, brother, man. I appreciate it. I know DC's People's Champ wanted to talk some football real quick. So, I'll let you go. Let the folks know what you got going on with Champ. But I know he wanted to get some football talking before they got to the NBA roundtable.
I actually just found out I can't talk about what I got going on.
Oh, dang.
NBA, nigga.
Her got that NDA going. What the fuck?
I got that NDA, yo. I can't talk about what's happening, man.
Yo, Herc, I haven't talked to you in forever, bro, but you don't know this, but where I live at now is literally 5 minutes away from where GOP used to live at, by the way. Just letting you know.
Oh, really? That means you're not far from me, because I'm in Arlington. I'm like 10 minutes away from GOP was. Where you at now?
I'm in West Arlington at Seminary Towers.
Oh, that's where other people's champ was living. That's where my baby mom was living. Okay, cool. I'm in Gates of Boston. Well, we need someday.
Word. Let me know, bro. Let me know.
Okay, look, hey, I'm at Crystal City Sports Club every Tuesday and Wednesday night. That's where we play poker at. I'm there every week. So just come through whenever. But yeah, we'll definitely link.
That's a bet, man. It's good to see you as always, my brother.
All right, man. I'm gonna go find out what they're doing with this egg.
Yeah, I got it.
I got so much to say about that on Saturday. I gotta hold it for Saturday, bro.
I might try to catch y'all on Saturday. Saturday, like I said, I can't say why. I've just been busy. NDA, nigga. Sorry. I never signed an NDA before. I feel so dirty.
Well, we can't wait to find out what you got working on, bro. We know it's something big.
But I've already spent the money in my head, so that's all I can say.
Hey, we can't wait to find out what it is, man. When you can finally talk.
Yeah. Just I've done the podcast thing. I'm doing a YouTube thing now, Mike versus Lymphedema. We still out there. So there's only one thing. The natural progression is coming. So we'll talk about it later, y'all. I'll catch y'all.
All right, man. Be easy, man. Appreciate you taking the time. Later, bro.
Washington fans, haters, y'all gotta shut the fuck up.
All right, brother, you be easy. What's up, DC's People's Chat? What's
What's
going
good,
on?
my dude? What's going on, man? Listen, I love everything that y'all were talking about prior to this, and I'm gonna be really quick with my comments so that we can get to the Wizards roundtable because I got so much to say about a former Wizard who we played twice this week and what he's got going on. But I was extremely impressed with this performance by this team. I've been extremely impressed with them the last 2 weeks with the fight that they've shown, that epic drive they had against Tampa 2 weeks ago, and then this week, Cam coming home, Cam, oh Cam, and Taylor Heineke going out and saying, I'm coming home too. Like, what about me? And he went out and threw 3 touchdown passes and didn't make a mistake and didn't turn the ball over. And it's like, it was like, what about me? I'm gonna show you why y'all should have kept me instead. And it was very much what you've been saying, Carol, that it's been a rebuilding period for this team, a culture change from what we had before to what we have now, and they're still building up this new culture. Like this is not the finished product. This is still a work in progress. And as a longtime fan, this is a breath of fresh air for me personally to be able to get through what we got through with the previous coach and the previous regime, and to be able to now have a coach that will motivate his players, motivate a better culture, and to produce on the field. So it's a wonderful breath of fresh air. And any fans who think otherwise, then like Big Hurt said, they got to shut the what up. Just saying.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling to see this team finally starting to play like we thought they would play on an all phases of the game, especially defensively and losing pieces. They lost a couple of offensive linemen during the game. Other folks came in, stepped up, which attests to the depth on this team. Now we've seen starters go out and the backup come in and didn't even look like he belonged in the NFL. Now we have capable backups that's going in and you don't miss a beat. You're missing both your defensive ends, Montez Sweat and Chase Young. You bring in, your backups and they are as effective as, your starters, your stars or whatever. So if you can't see the progress and the imprint of Ron around this team after 1 year and 11 weeks, then I don't know what to tell you, but I guess Hurt said it all and just shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, exactly,
But
exactly. And I'm loving the fact that DeAndre Carter came into the season, been in the league for a while, never scored a touchdown, turns around, gets a kick return for a touchdown, and has scored 3 receiving touchdowns in this season. That's an amazing story for that young man to be able to come into this situation, be a relative unknown, and basically just cement his spot on the team as another receiver that they can go to outside of Scary Terry to be able to make plays. So I love that for him.
no doubt, no doubt. It's going to be interesting to see the way this rest of the season folds out. And as we're talking about the Washington football team, Daniel Jones is still an interception to a defensive lineman. The Giants are down, I think it's 27-10 now. So Tampa's pretty much taking over. So we'll have the episode 250 next week with the live Washington football team versus Seattle, week 12. And as Hurt said, they need to go out there and dominate and win 3 in a row to get these analysts that they never gave them a chance. And when they win, they only talk about the other teams making mistakes. Go out there, make a statement, do the thing, do play like the team we've seen play the last 2 weeks, and go out there and dominate a team that's 3-7 and hasn't been playing well with a quarterback that got a rod in his finger because it was just broken. He's coming back and not looking like his old self. So that pretty much wraps up our football talk. I appreciate Big Hurt taking the time. I appreciate you, Big Champ, stepping in, and I'll let Brian and Rune and Tim come on in, and y'all can handle y'all business for this NBA roundtable. I already said earlier that unfortunately the Wizards took the loss to Charlotte 109 to 103. They were down by about 17 when I looked up, but they did put some fight into it and made it a close game. But unfortunately, a dagger by Rozier, a three with like 12 seconds left, put the game out of reach. And I'll let these basketball guys get to it, and I'll get out of the way and act like I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. So welcome to the Wizards Roundtable. We'll go ahead and introduce everybody. We've already seen Champ. Champ, how are you doing tonight?
I am okay. I'm okay. That's what I can say is I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll be okay.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're a little frustrated with tonight's loss, which we'll get to a little bit. We have a few games to go through this week for the Wizards against the Heat and the Hornets. Tim, we have you on the line tonight. How are you doing today, Tim?
Doing pretty well. Not the best game, but I like the fourth quarter effort. The comeback shows a lot of heart, so could be worse.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of heart in this Wizards team. You can definitely say that. They always fight back no matter what. And last but not least, we have Arun. Arun, how's it going, man? Do we have Arun?
Arun disappeared.
It says my video's not working, but
Well, I mean, we have your mic. I mean, that's really all that matters. But how are you doing, Arun?
not bad. Just caught the highlights of the Wizards loss. Not. I guess it wasn't that surprising that they lost.
Yeah, Charlotte's actually a much improved team. We're actually going to begin with Charlotte because we talked about the game last week, last Monday against the Pelicans that they won. And that started off the week. We already talked about that game. And the next game was in Charlotte on Wednesday against this Hornets team. And that was kind of one of the more demoralizing losses, I think, for the Wizards so far this season. It was only the fourth loss of the season for them. But they lost 97-87 on the road. I think we can all agree. I didn't see too much of this game. Just looking at, just remembering from what you guys said in the group chat that night, the third quarter in this game was pretty much the low point of the season for the Wizards. They got outscored 30-14 in their way to this 10-point loss. Just looking at the box score for the Hornets, 4 of their 5 starters were in double figures, led by Terry Rozier, who had 19. Miles Bridges had 17. Plumlee and LaMelo Ball, had 11 points. Kelly Oubre, who I know Champ has some words about, had 14 points in this first game against the Wizards. And for the Wizards, not a whole lot of scoring. Brad led the team in scoring with 24 points. Dinwiddie had his worst game as a Wizard by far so far. He had a goose egg, 0 points, 0 of 5 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3. But he wasn't the only one. Caldwell Pope, 3 points. Kuzma, only 5 points. Harrell had 15 points off the bench, but really not a whole lot from this team. I'll go to Champ first. Did you get a chance to see this first game against Charlotte? What are your thoughts on it?
Yes, I did. And I have a message for Kelly Oubre Jr. Who the hell told you that hairstyle was hot? Because it's not. It looks like someone whooped your ass with a entire bottle of peroxide, my guy. Who told you that looked good? You look stupid, as they chanted to Sheamus when he returned with a mohawk. That was absolutely ridiculous. But also what was ridiculous was this game, because that third quarter was absolutely just abysmal. Charlotte absolutely ran the Wizards out of the gym in the third quarter like no other. And then when you don't get scoring help from your starting 5, it's really hurtful. Like you said, this was the worst game that Dinwiddie has played as a Washington Wizard, putting up 0 points and only getting 5 rebounds and 2 assists. And he played 28 minutes. So that's really bad to not even put up any points in that amount of time. You did get help off the bench from Harrell. Harrell just goes out there and just works his butt off every single time he's out there, and it's great to see. You got, Beal's starting to get back into form after being gone for a couple of games because of the death of his grandmother, and just this game just was not it. It was not it, and this is the worst way to start a stretch of games you have, especially when you have a back-to-back and the next game is on the road the next night. So this was not a good win or good loss for the Wizard.
Yeah, definitely demoralizing. Not how you want to start a difficult stretch of games against these two tough opponents. But Tim, do you have any thoughts you want to add on this game?
Yeah, one bright spot, Daniel Gafford. I think this was his best game of the season. He's been hurt a lot, but he had 20 points, a lot of rebounds. So he definitely makes the team go when he comes off. When he's in the game, he's got a ton of energy, and I think when he's out hurt, they really do miss him because that's just one less big man and one less player on offense and defense that could really pound it in the post. So it's great to see that. I also thought Denny played well in this game, but yeah, just terrible third quarter. Very strange for them this season to have a really inconsistent game like this. I thought they've really come on strong in the second half in most of these games, so that was a weird red flag. But this is, it was a tough week, a very odd travel schedule. It's really difficult to do a back-to-back in two different cities with two flights. And I also think Charlotte just matches up well against the Wizards. They have a ton of shooters on the floor. They have 6 guys in double figures. And the Wizards just struggle to match up and defend all the, 4 shooters on the floor sometimes. So I think it's going to be tough in all 4 games against them this season, clearly. So, just tough game. But you got to figure them out because it's a divisional opponent. You're going to see them a lot this year.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Charlotte too so far this season. They beat the Knicks a few weeks ago, or I guess last Friday. And they just look like they have a lot of depth. They look like a really talented team. They're definitely, I think, going to be a threat in the Eastern Conference. Finally, Arun, do you have anything you want to add on the Hornets game, the first one?
Yeah, that third quarter was pretty bad. 36 points for the second half. The Hornets switched to a zone defense, and for good reason. The Wizards only made 8 threes the whole game out of 42 attempts, and Bradley Beal made 5 of them. Davis Bertans' presence has actually missed a little bit, even though maybe they would have only knocked down like a couple more threes. 8 for 43 is pretty pathetic. And Kelly Oubre had one of his hot shooting streaks. The Warriors are playing a lot better without him, but looks like Oubre has had the Wizards numbered this year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like he likes playing his former team. Like he feels like he's been slighted by them, and he wants to get his revenge. Because now he's had 2 very good games against the Wizards. We'll talk about the one he had tonight in a few minutes. But next up, the Wizards played the very next night against the Miami Heat, and that was another loss. 112-97 in a game started out close, but then really Miami just looked good from the start. Beal put up 30 points. Another loss for the Wizards where Beal puts up 30 points. No Dinwiddie in this game. I'm not. Why didn't Dinwiddie play in this game? Does anybody know why Dinwiddie play in this game?
It was a back-to-back, probably just concerning.
Rest. It was rest for his knee injury.
He's all right. Cool. And Aaron Holiday started in his place. Only put up 4 points, 2 of 7 shooting. Harrell started over Gafford as well in this game and put up 12 points and 9 rebounds. Kuzma bounced back after a rough game in Charlotte with 19. And Corey Kispert as well. His best game as a pro so far with 13 points and 4 rebounds. That wasn't enough to beat the Heat. Jimmy Butler, 32 points. Bam Adebayo added 20. PJ Tucker, 15. Gabe Vincent, surprisingly, with 18 points as well off the bench for Miami. And the Heat win the first of this back-to-back against Miami. We'll go in reverse order this time, and I will start with Arun. You have anything to say about this Heat game, this first one?
Yeah, the Wizards kind of were in the first half, even though Miami was cold for 3, and then in the second half, they just went off from 3. They didn't have Tyler Hero, but Jimmy Butler was doing his thing. He's actually, the new rules haven't affected him. He's actually getting the free throw line more than any point of his career at this point of the season. And it was just like, without Dinwiddie, even though he was pretty bad against the Hornets, Neto was pretty bad. He missed 5 free throws. Holiday, had his floater game going, but again, the Wizards couldn't knock down threes. And the center position wasn't really Gafford. I don't know. He was banged up, and Harrell played well in the second half, but it wasn't enough, and it was a blowout.
Yeah, you got to make the free throws. That's something I've struggled with the Knicks this season. Like, if you don't make the free throws, you take yourself out of the game. You cost yourself so many points that are just giveaways. Tim, well, what are your thoughts on the Miami game?
Yeah, it's a tough loss. Again, back-to-back with a flight involved. It's tough to have energy in the second half, and that was a classic kind of poor effort for a team on a back-to-back NBA trip where they put up a good first half and then just basically tank in the second half. Just one thing that's interesting about this game, besides Gafford not playing and Dinwiddie, clearly the Wizards are willing to play a lot of players. Wes Unseld likes to play his bench. He's really good at figuring out rotations. Like, he knows Neto's the best at second string because he's a good energy guy and change of pace. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen when a couple players come back because they just got Gill back. He's barely playing. And they're going to get Thomas Bryant Jr. some point soon and Rui. So, who's going to lose the minutes? Is it going to be Kispert? Is it going to be Denny? There's going to be some tough decisions. And then Bertans is going to come back too. So they just have a lot of wings, like probably too many. So I'm going to be curious to see who gets the minutes and who is out of the shuffle. But, that's a problem for a week or two from now.
Yeah, Davis Bertans and Rui Hachimura are both currently with the G League team, the Go-Go. They're practicing right now as far as the latest reports I've read, so they should be back soon. And then it'll just become a numbers crunch on the roster to see who loses minutes. It would be tough to take Denny out of cut Denny's minutes because he's just been so good lately, but somebody's going to lose some minutes. Champ, do you have anything to add on the Miami game?
Yeah, the score definitely does not indicate how close this game really wasn't. The Miami Heat just basically owned the Wizards on this night, and not surprising because of the fact that they were coming off of a back-to-back where they had to travel from Charlotte to Miami and turn around and play this game. This was a weird scheduling thing that the NBA did. And we didn't have Gafford in this game because he was out with injury. So that's why Harold did get the start for this game. Gafford was out with a right thumb sprain. So that's why Harold started and got the minutes that he did. And he made the most of those minutes with his energy and his play. But this was just a game that this team was most likely destined to lose because of the scheduling and having to travel by plane from Charlotte to Miami and then come back and play basically not even with 24 hours rest. So no surprise here that they lost this game. But but what also stands out is that not only with the back-to-back, but that fight that they normally have, they didn't have it in this game. They just did not have that fight. They didn't have the energy. That's why they lost the way that they did.
Yeah, I think it's tough with the back-to-back. It's tough to ask. I know they lost the first game, but it's really just tough to ask them to give 100% like that on back-to-back nights. I think that's why so many, like Dinwiddie got rested, and Gafford, dealing with the injuries. That's why they decided to sit him down as well. This was only the first game of 2 games in a row. I don't want to say back-to-back again, but 2 games in a row against the Miami Heat. They had the day off on Friday, and then they came back to DC to play on Saturday at Capital One Arena in a really good game. The Wizards won 103-100. They had a pretty dramatic comeback in this game as well. At several points, Miami was up pretty big in this game, but credit to the Wizards for fighting back and really impressing in this game. I think it was probably, as a whole, one of their, if not their best win of the season as a team. Just looking at the box score for the Wizards in this one, Peel was the leading scorer, but I think Dinwiddie, we have to say, even though he only had 16 points, probably hit the biggest shots of the game down the stretch to keep the Wizards in it. And the heave by Bam at the end was very, very close to going in. I don't know if he got it off before the clock went off, but that was very, very close. That would have been crazy if that went in. But it didn't, and the Wizards win 103-100. Snapped the 2-game losing streak. And like I said, probably their best win as a whole on the season. Tim, I'll go to you first. What did you think about this game against Miami?
Well, another player I wanted to shout out is KCP because he didn't really score a lot through the first 3 quarters, but I think he had 10 points in the 4th quarter, and he hit some big shots. I also think he had a 4-point play in the game. So just really great effort for him. He always plays very solid defense too. So he's very trusted by the coaches, and he plays a lot of minutes, which I think is great. I think it was important that the Wizards won this game. They had such great vibes going into this week. We knew the schedule was unfavorable, and you don't want to lose 3 in a row and have people lose a little bit of confidence. So it was great to win. The first sellout crowd also of the year in DC. You want to win that game. You want to shut up all the Miami fans that still wear LeBron jerseys for some reason. They're annoying. We gotta own our home advantage, and really until tonight they did. I mean, they have only lost 2 games now at home, so it was great to come home and get a nice win on the weekend and just get some good vibes going into this week.
Yeah, I know there were a lot of Miami Heat fans there, but it's good to see that the Wizards are having success at home. That's something I would like to see more of. I would like to see them, continue to do well in front of their fans, in front of their home crowd. Only 2 losses at home is a great. That's great to start the season. Arun, what are your thoughts on this Miami win?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty unexpected given how the second half was going. They were down by as many as 16, and I believe 10 points with 4 minutes to go. But as you guys mentioned, KCP stepped it up. Dinwiddie with 8 of his 16 points in the fourth quarter. Beal was pretty off in the fourth quarter. He had 22 points through 3 quarters, but then 0 of 3 with 3 turnovers. But he did have 3 assists. Butler, again, getting to the free throw line. Denny picked up a technical foul for complaining about one of the calls. And there was like a phantom call down the stretch. The Heat fans were also complaining about a travel by Dinwiddie, but I think Butler was actually pushing him in the back. So I think I was actually fine with that not being called. I wonder what the last 2-minute report was. But overall, as you mentioned, Brian, probably one of their more impressive wins of the season, even though the Heat outplayed them for 3.5 quarters. But it was nice that the Wizards were able to come back to complete the win.
It's all that matters is who's playing better down the stretch, really. And the Wizards were the team that played well down the stretch in this one. They were able to pull out the win in front of their home crowd. Champ, final thoughts on this one?
So I always mention this guy's name, Tyler Hero. This kid, he went out, he had the second most points scored on the Heat with 20 points. I always worry about him. But as all of you guys have mentioned, KCP stepped up big. Dinwiddie stepped up big. Everybody stepped up big. And what hasn't been mentioned here is that even though Denny Abdia doesn't stand out on the score sheet, his defense and how he plays on defense looms large because he had a lot of great defensive plays in this game that really helped this team to make that comeback. And the final thing was that fight that we did not see in South Beach. We saw it here in this game because, as everybody has said, they were down as much as 17 points in this game, but they did not quit. They kept going. They kept fighting, and look what happened. The end result was they ended up getting the victory, getting the W at home, and breaking that 2-game losing streak and keeping the good vibes going for this team.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to extend the losing streak any further. After to have it 3 games would have just been bad, I think. Especially after the way the season started, so to come back, especially on your home floor against a good Miami team. I mean, this Heat team looks even better than they were like last season. This looks even better than the team that made it to the finals in the bubble. So I mean, we could see these teams playing again down the road for sure. But the Wizards have one final game this week. I'm just pulling up the box score right now. There was a 109-103 loss tonight to the Charlotte Hornets again. Second time they played the Hornets this week. This time it was in DC. A close game, a tough loss, but Terry Rozier was insane in this game for the Hornets. Was absolutely beasting. He had 8 threes. He was 8 of 11 from 3, 32 points, including the dagger 3-pointer. As Steve Buckhands would say at the end, to give the Hornets the win, 109-103. LaMelo Ball also had a great game with 28 points and 13 rebounds. For the Wizards, just looking at the box score, Beal, 18 points. KCP, 17 points as well. And Montrezl Harrell, 24 and 18 off the bench. Another great performance from Harrell. I mean, all he does is ball out this season. But it wasn't enough for the Wizards in the last game of this stretch for them. We'll go Champ first. Champ, did you get a chance to see tonight's game, and what were your thoughts on it?
I watched this game, and it was incredible. Yes, the team lost, but once again, the fight that I always talk about with this team was there, especially towards the end. That final stretch, which led to that 3-point dagger by Rozier, was a little bit questionable because there was a question of whether there was a change of possession, which should have led to the shot clock being reset. And because it was reset all the way to full, it gave Charlotte extra time to be able to set up and make that three to win the game. So there's a lot of questions around that. But outside of that, this team fought. They were there towards the end, and that the effort from Harold just absolutely amazes me. And he not only had a double-double, but Kuzma also had a double-double with 11 points, 13 rebounds. Everybody played their tails off in this one. It just didn't go their way, which you want them to win games like this, but you also want to see the effort and the fight in them to not just give up and take their ball and go home when it's adversity. So a tough loss, but something to look forward to as you got the week coming up and what you have coming ahead.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Lakers in just a minute and everything that they went through yesterday, but I'm still amazed at how we talked about it in this group chat today about how the Wizards turned that awful John Wall contract into Russell Westbrook, and then turned Russell Westbrook into this great haul for the Wizards. Harold, KCP, and Kuzma, who have all been great for them this season, and Harold especially has just been killing it so far. Tim, what's your thoughts on this Hornets loss?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Tommy Shepard because congrats on his re-signing. Beal loves it. I think all DC loves that he's going to be sticking around because he's done a great job. You know, despite this loss, in terms of this game, I was frustrated a little bit with the Wizards' offensive strategy because they did what they did in the first game. They just settled for threes and got into a shooting contest with Charlotte and lost pretty badly again because, you know, you have so many great shooters on Charlotte's roster and he was really cold. Beal did not shoot well. The comeback, you know, showed a ton of heart, like I said, and everyone's talked about. I thought Harrell really sparked it. After he got that technical foul, he played great. He needs that emotion. He just has to be careful with it. But the reffing was really poor. The Wizards got, I think, 3 or 4 technicals. It wasn't really good for either team. I'm not saying it changed the outcome, but the reffing was bad tonight. The Wizards were angry the whole game, and we're really chirping at the refs a ton. But again, I just don't think the Wizards really match up great against Charlotte. And Charlotte has been completely transformed with Ball coming in. I mean, they're a much better team. He makes the whole roster better, and they've made a lot of good moves. And I think Oubre, he likes to show. I mean, who wants to get passed over for Otto Porter? Like, come on. You want to show that team like you're not. Of course, you're better than Otto Porter. So he's offended, and you know he comes in with that haircut and he destroys us.
I mean, Kelly's always had just ridiculous hair. Like even when he was on the Wizards, he always had just the craziest hairstyles of like any player. Outside of like Elfrid Payton or someone, I think he's always had like one of the craziest hairstyles in the league. But yeah, I think he gets, like I said when we talked about the first game, I think he gets a kick out of torturing his former team that traded him away like this. Arun, do you have anything to add on the Hornets game before we move into the week ahead?
Yeah, just Terry Rozier shooting came out of nowhere. He was shooting 25% from 3 coming into this game, and as you mentioned, it just like lit up the Wizards. And the Hornets as a team were shooting close to 50% from 3. And again, the Wizards bench. Kispert didn't make a single 3. Neto and Holiday struggled. I think once Rui and Bertans come back, I think Denny maybe can see some minutes at the backup point, and which will open up some more minutes, and Holiday and Neto will probably lose playing time. And yeah, the Wizards did get the good end of that deal, but maybe they have to play a little bit better to be like a 50-win team that they were projected to be earlier in the season. But overall, I agree with Ken. It was good effort in the fourth quarter. I think maybe the Wizards were a little bit complacent, like leading up to that, but hopefully that will carry over in the next game.
Yeah, this Wizards team, you know, as a Knicks fan, they kind of remind me of the Knicks team from last season, where they're just like building something. You know, there's been a lot of years of frustration, and it seems like for the first time in a while, they have a good competitive team. Is it a championship team? No, probably not, but it's a good, competitive, solid team in the Eastern Conference that can make some noise. And they're going to have setbacks like they had, you know, these last couple of weeks. That doesn't mean they're not going to get their wins when they can get them. I mean, this is a good team. I've been impressed with what I've seen from the Wizards so far this season. And that's a good segue into the upcoming week for the Wizards, which I think, just looking at these games, guys, I think this is a lot of very winnable games for the Wizards. I'll go through it quickly. On Wednesday, their next game is on Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's in New Orleans against the Pelicans. The Pelicans only have 3 wins this season. They're 3-16. No Zion yet this season for the Pelicans. The Wizards already beat the Pelicans last Monday in a tough game in DC, but this one's in New Orleans. So we'll see how that one goes. They have Thanksgiving off. I think every team in the NBA has Thanksgiving off. And then they play again on Friday against the Thunder, who only have 6 wins on the season. The game's in OKC. But I will say 2 of those wins are against the Lakers as well. So the Thunder do have some impressive wins under their belt. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Thunder, if the season ended today, I mean, we still have a long way to go, but I think if the season ended today, the Thunder would be in the play-in. And then after that, they played the very next night on Saturday, November 27th. That's an 8:30 tip-off. It's in Dallas against the Mavericks. This is probably going to be the toughest game of the stretch, if I had to guess. I mean, I think Luka Doncic might still be out, actually, for the Mavericks. So it might be a little bit so that might make it a little bit easier. I mean, it all depends on if he's still out by Saturday. But I think that's a definite winnable game for the Wizards. And then finally, on Monday, we're doing the show next Monday, but they will be playing next Monday against the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio to close out the road trip. That's an 8:30 tip-off. And the Spurs have really fallen off from where they were. I mean, we're talking about one of the great teams in NBA history, of course, but they're nowhere near that right now. They only have 4 wins on the season right now. I will let you guys pick whichever game you want to talk about. We'll go in the order we started with. I will go with Champ first. Champ, which game do you want to talk about?
I think I want to talk about the Mavericks game because it's on the heels of a back-to-back. It's the second game of a back-to-back. You may or may not have Luka Doncic in this game, but you still have to deal with Kristaps Porzingis. And Kristaps Porzingis is not someone you want to be that could be trifled with. And I feel like if you're coming off a back-to-back, and again, you have to travel. You're coming from OKC to Dallas, and I'm pretty sure they're going to fly. They're not going to drive, even though it's probably not a long drive. It's not that long of a drive, but it's long enough that they're probably going to fly. So you worry about if something like what happened this week with going from Charlotte to Miami, coming off a potential loss, and then having to go and travel and play again somewhere else. It could be tough. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this game. If they can keep Porzingis in check, if Gafford can deal with Porzingis in that front court, I think that the Wizards can win this game, even coming off a back-to-back. So I would call this one a potential win for me.
Yeah, you guys know I'm not a huge Porzingis fan, but yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup for sure against Gafford. I think it all depends on if Luka is out. If Luka is out, I think the Wizards can definitely win that game like fairly easily, honestly. But we'll see. I mean, it's still a long way to go before Saturday. Tim, which of those games are you looking forward to?
I want to talk about the game in San Antonio after the Dallas game because, as many of you probably know, the Wizards have lost 21 straight in San Antonio. So that is the NBA record, or active record for losing streak. One team in one city. So I think it's going to get broken this year. The Spurs suck. They're 4-11. They weren't very talented last year, and their best player is gone in Chicago, DeRozan. So I'm not saying the Wizards are definitely going to win, but I mean, that's bulletin board material. Like, if you can't get motivated to end that streak, then what else is going to motivate you? And this is probably the only year the Wizards will be favored to win and should win. So Wizards are a more talented team. They just have to get it done. It's a tough place to play, obviously, but they can do it.
Yeah, hasn't it been since like 1999 or something crazy?
Correct. So 22 years ago was the last.
That's crazy. That's hard to believe. I agree with you. I think that's going to end this year. The the Spurs are not that good. As great as Popovich is, he's gonna have to pull a rabbit out of his hat with this team. They're not that talented. Arun, I'm gonna give you 2 for the price of 1. Talk about the Pelicans and the Thunder game if you want. Go ahead.
I just want to touch a little bit on just one fact that Mitch Richmond had 31 points against the Spurs when they beat the Spurs in 2009 with Gilbert Arenas led the way for the Wizards against the Mavericks the last time they won at Dallas. But yeah, the Pelicans are kind of like, they actually almost beat the Wizards, and maybe they want to get up for that game. They did beat the Clippers a couple of days ago, so Beal wasn't in the last game, but still, the Wizards, if they play down to their competition, they could lose to them. But considering the Wizards have lost 3 of the past 4 games, maybe they'll be a little bit more motivated against a below-average team. And the Thunder, I'm actually been more impressed with the Thunder than the Pelicans, which is surprising given how they were able to beat the Lakers, and the Lakers were kind of a joke when Russell Westbrook got angry with I forget, Baisley, I believe, for dunking in the closing seconds of that game. I think you can be upset about it, but don't actually need to cause like a fight. This isn't like baseball with the honor code or whatever, and even those honor code rules are kind of done in baseball. So the Thunder, Dort, SGA, they also have they're pretty deep with like a couple really interesting young players, Poku. And I think that'll be a tougher game than the Pelicans game, but I still think Washington should beat the Thunder.
Yeah, I think the Wizards are looking at a solid week ahead. Like 2 wins almost seems like the bare minimum for this week. I think they got to get at least 3, and if they can get 4, that would be amazing. I mean, these are, I think, all very winnable games for the Wizards. We'll see how it goes. I just wanted to talk about one last NBA thing. And Carol, if you want to come back in to talk about this too, because I know I was talking about this with you as well offline. But I want to talk about this LeBron Isaiah Stewart situation from last night's Lakers Pistons game, because it's just absolutely taken over the NBA. It's without a doubt the biggest story in the NBA right now. For those of you who haven't seen it, LeBron basically he hit Isaiah Stewart. He's a player for the Pistons. He hit him in the face last night. And Stewart was bleeding really badly, and he was obviously very pissed at LeBron. He charged at LeBron. I've never seen anybody charge at LeBron like this. And the video, I've shown it to all you guys, of all the people trying to stop him from getting to LeBron. I just think it's one of the craziest things in the world. But anyway, it's a whole crazy situation. The Lakers and the Pistons are basically at war with each other over this, and to make this long story short, Stewart was suspended for 2 games. LeBron James was suspended for 1 for this. I kind of want to get everybody's thoughts on this because it's really a crazy situation. You do not really see the face of the NBA, LeBron James, get involved with anything like this. So Tim, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on this crazy LeBron James situation?
The most interesting thing to me was when you watch the video of what LeBron did, it was pretty blatant, and we all thought he wouldn't get suspended because he's LeBron and the NBA loves him, but he definitely deserved a game, if not more. So I'm glad they did suspend him. The other thing that was curious, like to me, and I was surprised that LeBron said, was he said it was just his anger and tension from not playing well in the beginning of that game and really in the whole season so far. So he kind of admitted that he was just in a bad mood and like took it out on him. A lot of players would just deny it and pretend like it was an accident. So he did own it because I think he knew it was bad. But I hope these teams play again this season. There might be one more game in LA, I guess. I don't know.
Actually, they play again next Sunday in LA. Okay. So they get to play each other. They get to play each other like right away next Sunday. So
I love that.
That's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, it's now a marquee game, and normally nobody would care because Detroit's not good. But I'm excited to see that. And Arun shared a hilarious video. I mean, it looked like a football player like not being able to get tackled by the defense.
Yeah,
it looked like a beast mode run from like the playoffs when he was in his prime. So. That guy was scary. Like, I don't know what LeBron was doing, but he should have just, hid basically.
Yeah, I'm like you said, I'm shocked LeBron got suspended. I'm glad it's for one game, and I'm glad that one game is against the Knicks. So I will take that. That's a huge break for my team. Champ, I'll go to you next. When I first sent this to you, my comment was there was more blood at this than Survivor Series. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on? I mean, you're a fighting type guy. What are your thoughts on this?
LeBron don't want the smoke, and that was clear that he don't want the smoke. And the Pistons obviously knew that LeBron can't get the smoke because he is the golden boy of the NBA, and they knew that if he had gotten his hands on LeBron, they wouldn't have him for the rest of the season. So they knew better. So that's why they all jumped out there. It was like, no, 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 chill out, chill. But he's like, I'm frustrated. I'm not playing very well. So you're gonna elbow somebody in the head and cause them to bleed? That's what we're doing in 2021. When you're frustrated, you're gonna hit somebody upside the head. When we're dealing with the problem of concussions in sports, that's what we're doing, LeBron. Listen, you clearly think you want the smoke, LeBron, but you don't want the smoke, and you almost got it. So you better watch yourself the rest of this season, because now it seems like with the way that the Lakers are playing, they know that a lot of teams are going to know now how to push LJ's buttons, LBJ's buttons. And they're going to try to push his buttons now because they know that even though he's been in the league for the longest time and he's the golden boy of NBA, as we all said, they know how to press his buttons by just frustrating him and they're not playing very well and then doing something like this, and they know that they can get at him. So, yeah, LeBron, stop acting like you want the smoke. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Yeah, I would love to see more people challenge LeBron. Like, honestly, like I feel like there's like this. I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like there's like a security detail around him, like at all times. There's a force field around him. Like you can't touch LeBron. Like he's untouchable. So I would love to see like this. This kind of like broke the ceiling a little bit. And I agree with something Tim said. I honestly was a little surprised he was not suspended for more than one game. Honestly, considering everything in play here, considering he started it. I was a little surprised that Stewart was suspended for longer than that. Arun, anything to add on this?
Yeah, I just want to point out LeBron actually has been doing this for a while. It happened in one of the Wizards Cavs series back in 2008. LeBron elbowed Andre Blatch in the face, and at the time he wasn't even ejected from the game, and retroactively the league said he should have gotten a flagrant too, but he wasn't suspended. And I think it's probably like more social media probably drove this and bleeding from Stewart, and perhaps his reaction. I think maybe if Stewart wasn't bleeding or if he didn't try to rush LeBron, I don't think LeBron would have even been suspended. But I think a lot of people were upset with LeBron, and he's had moments of outbursts like this. And I think back in that 2008 series, as Ken was mentioning, people were trying to pick at LeBron. And I think LeBron on the court can be tough enough to overcome that, but it's just also not a good look to like essentially punch somebody in the face on a box out just because he's boxing you out. I don't even think Stewart was trying to. He didn't even really want to fight LeBron in that sense, just on the court. And the Pistons were blowing out the Lakers, and somehow Russell Westbrook had his best game or second best game of the season and almost recorded triple-double when they came back and beat the Pistons. So who knows? Maybe the Pistons can play better and beat the Lakers. They're kind of in disarray, and I don't know what happened to LeBron to even be that upset at Stewart. And Blake Griffin was apparently supporting LeBron. Apparently Blake Griffin and Stewart had their share of dust-ups in the past. But I think LeBron was wrong here, but I think eventually people forget about it. And he's made these kinds of plays before, but he generally, people get frustrated, they lose their temper. And I don't really think he meant to like hit him like that badly, but can't go around doing that. And I think he'll learn his lesson, at least in the short term.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is only the second time LeBron James in the 17 years he's been in the NBA has been ejected. That's crazy. That's a long time to go without being ejected. CP3, before we turn things over to you for the rest of the night, anything I talked to you a little bit about the situation offline. I showed you the John Boy breakdown. Do you have anything you want to add on this whole situation with LeBron and Stewart?
I mean, I saw I watched the video over and over again. I didn't even see an elbow. I saw, his hand or fist, maybe it hit him in the eye, but I didn't see, the contact, blowing up. Hey, people, get emotional. I didn't watch the post. I don't really. I've been watching the Wizards. That's it. So I don't watch around the league. But I mean, we've seen, stuff before. Players get upset, get heated, and get in exchanges like that. With him getting suspended a game, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, he had a history doing it before. I can't attest to that or preach to it. So, I mean, it's sports sometimes get emotional. Nobody really got really hurt. I saw he had busted his eye, got some blood. So, hopefully, when he gets his 2-game suspension, he don't miss no time, and he'll be back on the court. And when they play again, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we don't see something crazy, but it's the NBA, so who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited. Like Tim said, this is not a matchup that would normally be a marquee matchup, but I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna have my eyes on that game next Sunday for sure. Pistons Lakers at the now named Staples Center, soon to be Crypto.com Arena in LA. So I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on that. We'll turn things back over to you, Carol. Thanks for letting us do the roundtable.
All right. Well, on that note, we probably get ready to wrap it up because it's been a long day and a long night, and I got to get back to work in the morning. So, Tim, let the folks know what you got going on and any final parting words on any sport, event, anything you want to talk about before you get out of here.
No, I think I'm gonna check out that Wizards game with Ludacris, Grammy Award winner, somehow performing after the Wizards game. I guess that's when is it, Brian? Early December, but I think that would be cool to bring.
Next Friday, December 3rd.
Okay, yeah, so that would be cool if we go there. We could break down the game for the show, and yeah, just have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Great show tonight. Glad to talk about the Wizards, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, Tim, take it easy. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, man. Appreciate you taking the time.
See you guys.
All right. In a room, the voice of a room. Let the folks know what you got going on. Any parting words or any RG3 wisdom or trivia you got for us?
No RG3 news. Unfortunately, he's been shutting us out with any good content, at least that I know of. And yeah, good win for Washington. Cam Newton, no revenge win for him. Ron Rivera gets the best of him and Carolina. So stay tuned for my podcast. And thanks for having me on, Carol.
All right, everyone, appreciate it, man. You have a happy Thanksgiving and catch you next week, man. Episode 250. DC People's Champ. Let the folks know what you got going on with no spots and any parting shots of wisdom you got for the show.
Oh man, we got a lot going on this week. This coming Wednesday on our Twitch channel, we will be live streaming. Myself and Sage will be talking about this past week's action with World Tag League and Best of the Super Juniors in New Japan. So we got that going on. And then, of course, on Saturday, myself and Sith, we will be breaking down Survivor Series, which happened on Sunday. We had live stream reactions to that. Which had my girlfriend come into the Twitch chat and just be absolutely inappropriate, telling an inappropriate story about the first time we did adult things, which was funny as hell. But anyway, we got all of that going on this coming week with No Spots Podcast, so make sure you check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/True No Spots Pod, as well as the podcast, which you can find if you go to www.sportsothp.com and click the podcast partners button, and you can find our audio podcast there as well. And my last parting shot is, and I'm pretty sure Brian's going to get into this in more detail, congratulations to the Washington Spirit for bringing another championship to DC. Big shout out to them. And I'm out.
All right, champ. Appreciate it, man. You have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy. And y'all make sure y'all check out the No Spots podcast. I just finished watching Raw. And it's been entertaining. The only reason I started getting back into it because these guys been covering it. So make sure you check it out for all of you wrestling fans out there.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right, man, take it easy. And Brian, let the folks know what you got going on. I know you got your podcast popping off with the Knicks playing and everything. And I know you're not a big hockey fan anymore, but I know the Rangers are playing some good hockey right now.
Yeah, first off, I want to echo what Champ said. Congratulations to the NWSL champion, Washington Spirit. I'm pretty fired up. I watched that whole game on Saturday. They beat Chicago 2-1 to win their first ever NWSL championship in extra time. So shout out to the Spirit. They announced today on Twitter or Instagram, I think it was, that they're going to have a parade sometime in the future. So I am definitely hitting that up for sure. I'm really proud of the Spirit. Congratulations on winning the NWSL championship, another championship for DC. Other than that, shout out to the Rangers too for playing great. Like you said, Carol, they're playing a lot better right now, even though I'm not huge into hockey anymore. I hope the Knicks start playing a little bit better. And check out my podcast, Upon Further Review with Brian Brennan. I've taken the last couple of weeks off because I've been busy with work. I'm back at both of my jobs, and I'm just busy a lot now. But I will continue to make time for the podcast when I have time for it, for sure. Stay tuned for it. I'm probably going to release an episode this week about everything, the Knicks, Yankees offseason, whatever I feel like. That's pretty much it. Thanks for having me on, CP3. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, Brian. Appreciate it as always, man. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll check you next week, man.
Later, man.
Later. All right, as always, we appreciate our team coming in, doing their thing, breaking down the Wizards, helping Anna, breaking down the Capitals. Big Hurt jumping in tonight. Dujane was always around. I appreciate all of the team. Always contributing and making this the best sports show around DC or otherwise. Make sure, as you've heard several times, go check out the website, sportsothp.com, for all the content, all our podcast partners, the apparel line, highlight videos, live feeds, boxing breakdown. We do it all. We cover it all. So make sure you go check us out. Like I said, I'm selling cars down in Waldorf Honda, 2450 Crane Highway. If you're in the market, inbox me. All my information's on the screen. You know where to find me. Need a deal on a new or used? Come holler at me. Next week, episode 250 with a live Washington football game versus Seattle. Washington looking to get back in the playoff chase. We're going to be, celebrating another milestone with Sports on the Hill podcast. And without you all, it wouldn't be possible. We do this for y'all. We do this because we love it. And because it's always about DC sports without the politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. And it's always ending the show with some of the hottest independent music videos. I got to get some more videos from 151 played during the show or after the show. Make sure you check out At The Bar Radio. We've taken the last couple of weeks off doing some personal things going on, but we'll be back next week, 6 o'clock as always, bring you the best content around, talking sports, politics, entertainment, news, independent music always, and the best independent music videos around. Make sure you check us out. Look out for Renegade. Just had a new single drop, Living the Past. Go check it out on all platforms, streaming live. I got a couple of regulars in the rotation today. Stay on the lookout for some new independent music I'll be playing soon. But as I said, DC sports or the politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. CP3, live from the lab, and I'm out.
I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on the move, it's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on the move, it's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. But I dish it like I give it and go. Counting money while I chill at the stove. How I deliver, I've been at the dough. It's up to you how business will go. That 36, I I get for the low. Count it up, no feelings will show. Spend so much, gotta get it some more. When they hands out, I just give them a no. How they always talk about me, but a nigga stand out. Watch out how you really walk up to me, that's a man down. All these niggas got these drums with them like a band now. I've been doing what I want, that's what you can't doubt. I've been just feeling myself. Do I just really need help? I got my weight up. I be just telling myself I got love for all of my dogs. I take a pay cut. Some niggas really gon' ride. Some niggas really gon' slide. So go say a prayer. We ain't never gotta slap five. Nigga, just pay your tithes and call me the mayor. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this man. She all in her feelings. She giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on the move. That's a digital day. They been just losing. I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stage. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this man. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on the move, that's a digital day. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stage. I could never ever live in the past.
What's up? What's up, baby?
Seriously? I've been calling your phone all day.
Listen. I'm in the booth. I'm gonna call you back as soon as I'm done. Give me like 10 minutes.
What do you mean you're gonna call me back? Like, I've been calling you all day. It's been hours. Like, what are you doing?
I know it's your birthday. My apologies. Give me 10 minutes, babe. I'm gonna call you right back.
No, you with them girls, aren't you? I know you with them girls.
Ain't no damn girls in here.
So let me see then.
You gonna do that? You gonna do that to me in front of Chill?
Smooth B in the fellas.
You got me waiting on my birthday, so let me see.
Yeah, no problem. Fellas, say hello. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
We working. That's hard though.
Hey, listen. Hey, give me an hour. I'm gonna call you real quick. Calm down. Relax. I got you.
Hurry up.
All right.
Sometimes I don't even come home. money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. Money, make you shut him mouth. Don't never ever talk about it if you never had the clout. You don't know what to say. Stay up out of my way. Cause money, make him shut him mouth. Keep playing with these goonies, boy, I'm gonna have to make the call. Stay in bounds on your pivot, boy, if you gon' ball. Cause a lot of niggas be fake, and you really can't play. Cause we done got it out the mud, nigga, what you talking about? Screaming, oh my God, money got me pride. They living a lie, look into my eyes, they might seem surprised, this is homicide. We just multiply, we been on the rise. If we got some wings, fuck it, we gon' have to fly. Money's what I'm talking about. Day in my life, take me a different route. And use all my case, niggas on my face. You can get erased, what you talking about? Money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. You never crossing these borders. I'm whipping it up, Gordon Ramsay. I swear that I'm cooking these orders. You talk about me, you better just hope that you can just really afford it. I'm balling, I'm winning, I'm feeling like Robert to Horrid. Nigga, I'm scoring, I count in the morning. They talk about me, then I gotta ignore it. My bitches be foreign, so independent, my money be corporate. These rappers is boring. You hate me and I'm always gonna adore it. I'm smoking that soaring. She always go ahead and let me explore it. I call her my Dora. You can go and talk about me, I ain't flawless. I go put my all in. If a nigga talk about me, then I'm gone in. You know that I'm gone in. Jump in, take trips, Pompeii. All day, always keep 3 stacks like Andre. I get it, man. And you can never, ever get rid of that. So watch what you say, and watch how you do. If you play the game, then you play by the rules. Money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money's what I'm talking about.
Can you hear me? I am calling now out your name, and now I know, and I'm here, and you know it, it's all just the same, and I know it's gonna be disco. Take me to a place where everybody learns, where everybody sees, where everybody shows their love. I didn't think so. You know. That's why champagne for you or me. I really didn't think so. I take a promise, I give it some love, I make a wish upon a star. You know you gotta get it right. You know you gotta get it right. Ooh. Every little thing counts now. Every little bitty thing. Can you hear me? I am calling now out your name, and now I know, and I'm here, and you know it. It's all just the same, and I know it's gonna be disco. It'd be so cool just to celebrate all the love and all the hate that's going down. It's gotta stop, we've had enough. Why can't we just live together? Peace, love, and harmony is what this world needs forever. Can you hear me? I am